It's 6 p.m. The world is winding down, but you're standing at the edge of a decision, the kind that doesn't announce itself with trumpets or applause, yet holds the quiet power to change everything. You feel it in your chest, that pulse that says something must shift. This moment might look ordinary, but behind its disguise lies destiny. Every revolution begins like this, with a whisper, not a roar. And tonight, that whisper is yours. At 6 p.m., some people give up. Some drown their dreams in noise, distraction, and routine. But a few, just a rare few, pause, look up, and say, no more. No more waiting, no more living small, no more letting the day die without progress. It's strange how 1 hour can divide the weak from the unstoppable. 6 p.m. is not just the evening. It's the crossroad between who you were and who you could become. Most people think change happens in the morning, when the sun rises and motivation feels fresh. But the truth is, change is born in the dark hours, when the world is tired, when your energy fades, when your mind whispers to quit. If you can decide at 6 p.m. to move forward while others slow down, you'll own the night, and soon, the world. Greatness is not about timing. It's about the courage to start when others stop. You've been waiting for a sign, haven't you? Something that tells you it's finally your time. But signs don't come wrapped in lightning. They come as quiet moments, disguised as ordinary evenings. This is one of them. Right now, 6 p.m. The decision you make tonight can rewrite the rest of your story. That's the dangerous beauty of choice. It hides unlimited power in a single second of courage. Think about this. One decision can collapse the walls that years of hesitation built. One yes can drown out decades of fear. One small step can separate your past from your future. You've been carrying the weight of someday for too long. Maybe tonight is not about waiting for opportunity. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't wait anymore. People often say life changes slowly, but that's not true. Life changes instantly. In one decision, one act of defiance, one whisper that says, I'm done living like this. You don't need another year, another plan, or another push. You need this moment. 6 p.m. right now. A single shift in your mind can turn your evenings of regret into nights of resurrection. The clock keeps moving, but time doesn't heal what you refuse to face. You can't keep running from the life you know you were meant to live. You've been too comfortable in almost happy, almost ready, almost alive. But the truth is, almost is a slow death, the kind that keeps you breathing but never really living. Tonight you either break the pattern or become it. Every decision has a price, and the price of inaction is always heavier than the risk of trying. You think failure will break you, but it's comfort that destroys you. Because comfort slowly erases your hunger, your fire, your identity. So when the clock hits 6 p.m. tonight, ask yourself, do I want peace or do I want purpose? Because the two rarely live in the same room. There comes a moment when your reflection no longer inspires you. When you look in the mirror and realize you've been existing instead of expanding. That's not sadness, it's awakening. That's your soul knocking, saying, hey, are we ever going to do what we said we'd do? And if you ignore it again tonight, it'll go quiet until it's too late. You are not tired, you are unfulfilled. The exhaustion you feel isn't from working too hard, but from not working on the right things, from betraying your potential every single day. You don't need rest, you need direction. You don't need a break, you need a breakthrough. And that begins when you stop negotiating with your dreams and finally choose them. Remember this, the universe doesn't reward those who wait, it rewards those who decide. When you choose change, you create momentum. When you choose courage, you rewrite physics. The moment you decide that mediocrity is no longer acceptable, every cell in your body starts to align with greatness. That's how fast transformation happens. Instantly, once you mean it. You've been collecting excuses like souvenirs. I'm not ready. It's not the right time. I'll start tomorrow. But here's the truth, tomorrow doesn't exist. It's the greatest illusion the mind ever created to protect your fear. Only now exists. Only this heartbeat, this choice, this breath. If you can conquer this moment, you can conquer your entire life. The reason so many people never change is because they keep waiting for motivation instead of making a decision. Motivation fades, but decision ignites. Once you decide, you don't need to feel ready. You just move, you act, you build momentum. Because momentum doesn't come from inspiration, it comes from commitment. Decide now and let discipline carry you where emotion can't. Every great story starts with a decision that looked insane at first. The ones who change their lives don't wait for perfect. They begin in chaos. They start at 6 p.m. after a long day, when the world tells them to rest, because they know rest without purpose is just another form of retreat. So make your choice. Will you close another day in silence or open a new chapter in fire? 6 p.m. One decision, a new life. It's all it takes. The world won't change around you, but you will. And when you do, everything else will follow. Because change doesn't begin outside. It begins with a decision so deep, so powerful, that it burns every bridge back to the old you. And tonight, that decision is waiting for your courage. It's 6:01 p.m. Now you didn't even notice the minute pass. But that's how transformation begins. Quietly, without applause, without warning. Every second after your decision carries power that most people never tap into. Because when you finally commit, time slows down for you. The world bends around your focus. The noise fades, and suddenly there's only you and the mission. That's the energy of alignment. That's when life stops testing your patience and starts responding to your intent. At this moment, you are standing at the border between history and destiny. Behind you lies the story of survival, repeating days, recycled excuses, and small wins that felt safe. But in front of you lies the story of expansion, the unknown, the uncomfortable, the extraordinary. You cannot cross both borders at once. You must pick one. And that choice, that invisible line in your heart, defines everything that comes next. Some people think they need confidence to start, but that's a myth. Confidence is not the beginning, it's the result. It's the reward you earn after you step through fear and act anyway. So don't wait to feel ready. You'll never be. Readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. It's looking at your fear and saying, let's go anyway. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision that something else matters more. At 6 p.m., the world tells you to relax, to turn off, to slow down. But you know better. This is your golden hour, the one that separates dreamers from doers. The successful don't have more time, they just treat time differently. They see evenings not as endings but as beginnings. When others power down, they power up. And that's the secret nobody tells you. Discipline is divine timing in disguise. You have no idea how powerful you truly are until you stop distracting yourself from your potential. Every notification, every scroll, every delay, it's not harmless. It's a silent thief, robbing you of purpose 1 second at a time, but once you make that decision, you become untouchable. Because clarity kills confusion. Once you know what you want, everything that isn't it becomes noise. Imagine this. One day, years from now, you'll look back and remember this exact moment. The moment everything shifted. The smell of the air. The sound of the clock. The quiet realization that you finally chose you. That memory will become sacred. Life doesn't give second chances. It gives you moments like this one and watches what you do with them. You're not behind, you're just about to begin. Everything that happened before tonight wasn't failure, it was preparation. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every false start, it all carved the strength you're about to use. So don't regret your past. Thank it. It built the version of you who's finally ready to stop surviving and start creating. People will doubt you when you start. They'll laugh, they'll question, they'll remind you of your old self. But that's because they can't see what you've decided inside. Your vision is invisible to them. It's sacred. Protect it. Don't announce your change. Let your results reveal your rebirth. The loudest revolution is the one that starts in silence. This world doesn't need more talent. It needs more decisions. Every person you admire once stood where you are now, at 6 p.m., tired, unsure, afraid, but they said yes anyway. That's what separates the remembered from the forgotten. One said, "I'll try tomorrow." The other said, "I'll start now." That's it. That's the gap between average and legendary. The truth is, the universe doesn't wait for you, it mirrors you. When you commit fully, everything starts to align. Opportunities appear, people shift, doors open, but only after you act. That's why waiting kills dreams. Because the universe only moves when you do. The moment you step forward, unseen forces start clearing your path. That's not luck. That's energy responding to decision. At 6 p.m., most people settle. They go home, they numb themselves, they escape their own potential. But if you use this hour differently, you'll unlock a power few ever find. You'll stop living as an echo of your fears and start becoming the voice of your destiny. Because greatness doesn't come from effort alone. It comes from the refusal to live another day as half yourself. You owe it to the version of you that never gave up. The one who dreamed while others doubted. The one who kept believing even when no one clapped. That version deserves to see you win. So don't betray them by hesitating again tonight. Decide for them. Move for them. Build for them. Because you are the answer to the prayers you once whispered. The pain you've been running from is not your enemy, it's your initiation. Every fear, every failure, every fall, it wasn't meant to break you, it was meant to prepare you. Pain is the world's way of asking, are you serious about your growth? And your answer must be yes. Because once you face it, pain becomes your passport to power. This is not a story about instant success. It's about irreversible commitment. Because the moment you truly decide, your identity changes. You stop being someone who tries and become someone who becomes. You no longer chase results. You attract them by the energy of who you are. That's why your single decision tonight will echo louder than 1,000 empty promises. 6 p.m. isn't just an hour, it's a mirror. It shows you who you are when no one's watching. And if you can look at that reflection and choose evolution over ease, you'll never fear another day in your life. Because you'll know the truth, transformation doesn't need permission. It needs decision. And tonight you just made yours. 6:15 p.m. The sun is almost gone, but something inside you is finally awakening. You can feel it. An energy, a pulse, a quiet certainty that says, this time is different. You've made decisions before, but they were surface level. Tonight's choice comes from your core, from the deepest place within you. It's not about proving anything to the world. It's about proving something to yourself. The moment you choose your evolution over your excuses, the universe starts to whisper back, welcome home. This decision won't instantly change your life. It will change you. And when you change, everything else eventually follows. Your habits shift. Your standards rise. Your environment rearranges. Because when you evolve, your frequency changes, and the world can't help but adjust to match your new vibration. That's why growth feels lonely at first. You're no longer in sync with the things that once numbed you. But don't mistake solitude for isolation. You're not losing people, you're finding yourself. You're stepping into a version of you that's been waiting for years. Stronger, sharper, more focused, more alive. The one who doesn't shrink in fear but stands still in faith. The one who no longer asks, what if I fail? But what if I fly? Every minute you choose growth over comfort, that version takes the wheel. You start to move differently. You speak with conviction. You think like a creator, not a survivor. That's when life starts to bend toward your will. And here's what's wild. You don't even need to see the whole path. You just need to take the first step. That's how all revolutions begin. Every great leader, artist, and visionary started with a single moment of enough. Enough doubting, enough waiting, enough hiding. They didn't start because they had the perfect plan. They started because they refused to die with potential still in them. And that refusal is what sets legends apart. You may not feel ready, you may not feel brave, but courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet whisper saying, "Do it anyway." You don't need the world's approval to begin. You only need your own permission. That's what this hour is about. Granting yourself permission to evolve, to stop playing small for people who would never shrink for you, to stop explaining your fire to those still asleep in their own ashes. The moment you decide, something inside you breaks, but in the best way. The chains of indecision snap. The weight of maybe finally lifts. And what replaces it is focus so sharp it cuts through the noise of your old life. You'll start noticing opportunities that were always there, but invisible to your old mindset. That's how the universe rewards clarity, with visibility. The more certain you become, the clearer your path gets. There's a part of you that's scared. I know. That's okay. Fear doesn't mean stop. It means pay attention. It means what you're about to do actually matters. Fear is proof that you're stepping out of repetition and into transformation. The real danger isn't fear, it's familiarity. Because the comfort zone doesn't feel like a trap until it's too late. Tonight, you're escaping it and it's going to hurt. But freedom always does at first. 6:20 p.m. The streets outside are quieting. The lights flicker on. People are returning home, but you're rising into your next chapter. While the world seeks escape, you're seeking expansion. And one day, this will be the moment they talk about. The evening you turned an ordinary Tuesday into the birth of your purpose. The kind of story people call destiny, but you'll know it was simply decision. No one ever tells you that the hardest part of changing your life isn't action. It's letting go of the identity that loved your old limits. You've worn fear like armor for so long that freedom feels naked. But if you can stand in that naked truth, vulnerable yet unbreakable, you'll realize that power doesn't come from pretending to be fearless. It comes from walking through fear and refusing to kneel. You've spent years building walls to protect yourself from pain. But those same walls have been keeping out growth. Tonight, you break them. You no longer need safety, you need authenticity. Because the truth is, the world doesn't reward those who play safe. It rewards those who dare to live raw, real, and relentless. The ones who stop waiting for guarantees and start trusting their grind. Somewhere deep inside, your future self is watching this moment. They're whispering, "Thank you. Thank you for finally choosing courage over comfort. Thank you for not giving up when it would have been easier to. Thank you for lighting the fire that will one day guide thousands." That's the thing about real decisions. They don't just change your life, they ripple through generations. Every second after 6 p.m. is sacred now. You're no longer living by the clock, you're living by conviction. The decision you've made tonight is your declaration to the universe. I am no longer waiting to be chosen. I choose myself. And that energy, self-ownership, is unstoppable. Because once you stop needing permission, you become limitless. Do not underestimate what's happening right now. The old you is dissolving. The hesitant, uncertain, approval-seeking version is dying quietly. And in its place, something extraordinary is being born. A mind with vision, a heart with courage, a soul on fire. It doesn't happen with noise or fireworks. It happens in moments like this one, when you finally say, "I'm done being almost." This decision is your rebirth, but rebirth isn't gentle, it's violent. It tears apart what no longer fits. It burns comfort, crushes excuses, and shatters false identities. But that's what transformation demands, destruction before creation. The phoenix doesn't rise without the ashes. Tonight, you are burning who you were to become who you were meant to be. 6:25 p.m. The world looks the same, but you're not. You've crossed the invisible line that most people never dare to approach. You're not waiting for a miracle anymore. You've become the miracle. This is what power feels like. Quiet, steady, unshakable. And once you've tasted this, you'll never settle for anything less again. 6:30 p.m. You feel a strange calm settling inside you. Not the kind that comes from ease, but the kind that comes from clarity. The chaos in your mind begins to organize itself. The noise becomes direction. For the first time in a long time, you're not searching for what's next. You are what's next. Every cell in your body feels it. The alignment between who you are and who you were meant to be. That alignment is power. That alignment is peace. You'll start to notice how the world reacts differently to you now. The same doors that once stayed closed will begin to crack open. The same people who ignored you will start to notice. But don't be distracted by attention. It's a test. Stay focused on the mission. The world doesn't reward early excitement, it rewards consistent execution. Let them watch while you work. Let silence become your announcement. There will be nights when doubt sneaks back in. When that old voice says, "You can't do this, but now you know better." You'll smile, because that voice isn't truth, it's memory. It's the echo of a person who no longer exists. You can honor who you were without returning to them. Growth doesn't mean hating your past, it means refusing to live there anymore. You will lose people. You'll outgrow environments. You'll find yourself in unfamiliar territory. That's how elevation feels. Lonely at first, but liberating in the long run. The view from the top is quiet for a reason. Not everyone can breathe at that altitude. Don't climb down to keep company. Invite others to rise, but never shrink to fit their comfort. You'll also face failure, real, raw, heart-punching failure. But this time, you'll handle it differently. Because now you know that failure isn't punishment. It's instruction. Every fall is feedback. Every setback is a signal. You'll no longer ask, "Why me?" You'll ask, "What is this teaching me?" That shift in perspective will make you unstoppable, because nothing can defeat someone who learns from everything. And here's the truth. They never understand how one evening changed your entire trajectory. They'll think it was luck, timing, opportunity. But you'll know it was none of those things. It was choice. A simple decision made at 6 p.m. that turned your life from autopilot to intentional. You didn't wait for change, you became it. That's the rarest power on earth. The courage to choose differently when nothing around you forces you to. 6:40 p.m. The world outside hasn't noticed yet, but the world within you has completely shifted. You're no longer chasing success. You're attracting it by being aligned with purpose. You're no longer reacting to life. You're designing it decision by decision, hour by hour. Because the secret to transformation isn't in the giant leaps. It's in the tiny choices that no one sees. And tonight was one of those invisible choices that will echo forever. You've entered the season of becoming. The place where you no longer talk about change. You embody it. Every move you make now, no matter how small, will build momentum. And that momentum will terrify those who still live in hesitation. But you can't slow down to make them comfortable. You're not here to fit in. You're here to wake the world up by your example. One day you'll tell this story, maybe not in words, but in how you live. People will ask what changed, and you'll simply smile, remembering this exact hour. You won't need to explain it. They'll feel it. Because the glow of someone who finally decided to live cannot be faked. It radiates through everything you do, every room you walk into, every life you touch. You've stepped out of the cycle of waiting for motivation and into the rhythm of discipline. The kind that doesn't depend on moods or validation, the kind that builds empires quietly. And when the days get heavy, when progress feels slow, you'll remember, you didn't choose this because it was easy. You chose it because you were tired of easy. You were ready for extraordinary. 6:50 p.m. You're halfway through the hour that's changing everything. You've crossed a line that can't be uncrossed. There's no going back now. Not because you can't, but because you won't. The old you no longer fits. You've tasted your potential, and nothing else will satisfy you again. That hunger, that relentless craving for growth is your new fuel. Feed it daily, protect it fiercely. The world may not clap for you now, and that's perfect, because silent seasons are sacred. They're where roots grow deep, where foundations form. The applause will come later, but for now your job is to build. Build without noise, build without need. Build because creation is your purpose and progress is your proof. The clock strikes 6:55 p.m. The decision has been made, but the work has just begun. And that's the beauty of it. Every sunset now carries meaning. Every evening becomes a reminder that transformation is a choice, not a coincidence. Tonight, you chose differently. And because of that, every tomorrow will be different too. And when the clock finally hits 7 p.m., the world won't notice anything spectacular. But you will. Because somewhere deep inside, you'll know you did it. You shifted timelines. You made the decision that people spend lifetimes avoiding. One decision, 1 hour, one life. And that's how it happens. Not in lightning, but in quiet courage. Not someday, but today. 6 p.m., one decision, a new life. It's not just a quote, it's a prophecy you fulfilled. You are no longer waiting for a miracle, you are the miracle. And as you walk into the night, remember this truth. Every evening carries a doorway to rebirth, but only the brave walk through. Tonight, you did. And the world will never be the same again.